Alright, hey guys, I think you can hear me, but, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, basically showing you guys the recording of you guys playing and chiming in every few, seconds or whenever I feel like it. So basically, this is just, how I wanted to approach this is just kind of like a movie or whatever, showing a movie with director's commentary. So the recording here is going to be like the movie, and me speaking is going to be like the director's commentary. That's how I basically approached it. To be clear, this is not necessarily for me to tell you what to do. This is basically just showing a big magnifying glass on what you guys are doing, and then using that as an avenue to talk about strategy. Basically, that's really the main goal here. And so I think the format of this, my original plan for the season was to not talk as much during the games, so not really talk as much while I'm spectating, just really recording the game. And then when I have free time later, then I can do videos like this where I talk about what you guys are doing. And maybe what you guys should try to work on, maybe try to improve on, maybe there's a cool new strategy that me or you thought up that we want to implement. I don't know, just experimenting with Tag Pro strategy, with Tag Pro play, to make you guys better. And I feel like the ultimate goal here is to be a Nooper Ball championship team, so this is the means to that end, I guess, and what I'm trying to do. Yeah, so this is my original plan for helping you guys out as coach, is just doing these videos and things like that. What else? So I probably have like an intro text to this, so if you haven't read that, read that, because I don't want to make the intro to the introduction to what I'm doing too long. But you guys should already know what I've done with my time in Tag Pro. Basically, everything that I've done in Tag Pro has been astoundingly successful, and what I've done as a Tag Pro player has been successful because of my idea of what strategy is. And it's not because I juke well. If you have seen me play, I don't juke well at all. I'm a very terrible mechanical player. I've won the Mooper Ball and things like that because I am a strategist, and because I tell my team what to do, and I make sure they do it correctly, and I feel like that wins this game. So to that extension, I'm going to be doing that to you guys, and hopefully you guys can get better. And it's not a me telling you what to do. It's a me suggesting what I think you should do and why I think you should do it. And everything that I say as a rule can be broken if you're good enough. Everything that I say as a general what you should be doing here can be broken if you play well enough. So basically, nothing is really a rule here. Tag Pro is constantly changing. The meta or whatever is constantly changing. And it will change in a year or two. It will always be changing. So strategy isn't this, oh, you have to do this and you have to do this. It's a constantly changing dynamic. So yeah, let's just play the recording and let's see what you guys do and see if I have anything to say about that. And it has you guys talking to each other. So if you hear voices talking, that's you guys. And then I'll pause it when I want to chime in.
Okay, you're good, Squiggly.
They have a Tag Pro on their base.
Okay. Did it kill you?
Nope.
Where'd you go? Okay, boosting.
Let's see. I don't really have a lot to say about
Methyls
that.
in base. Methyls degree 15.
Oh, I thought I could grab that.
You got him. I got your hand off. Nice. Base.
Nice. Good D.
Nice shot, Briggs.
Alright, power ups are done.
So this is pretty much confirmed to be the first week map, but it's not a...
Okay, so Squiggly here,
So this
grabbing raw and velocity doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And right here, you should be able to tell that grabbing there is not going to help. It's obviously not even the pop from you grabbing is not going to help your team. So, it's strange because in Velocity, I feel like what you should do is wait for power-ups. I mean, this is for any map really, but wait for power-ups, grab with those, get out with those. If you can't wait for power-ups, you either boost in, so you use this boost to boost in, you use this boost to boost in. If there's a bomb there, you use that bomb to bomb in. And you can use this one too, if you want to. But you use these boosts to grab the flag, and that's how you get out of base. Don't do that. Don't grab like that.
Pretty much confirmed.
Don't do that where you.
So this is like,
you know, like that's not. I mean, I feel like that's an emotional decision. I feel like you do that because you don't know what else to do, and you know you I don't know, maybe you're hoping to win the lottery and get out, but it's not going to happen. So just make educated grabs. Educated grabs are boosting in. Non-educated grabs are doing what you did right there.
Yeah, but it's not official yet, so. Alright, Tomb Base. Power-ups in like a 30-second window, but just be on the lookout. Just let
Okay, so Squiggly, you just need to practice that boost. This is a very, very good boost to practice. I'm guessing you just messed up.
Boost.
Yep.
Alright.
Don't die.
Let's talk about what you could have done there. Once again, I'm not like a strategy god. I am not the arbiter of truth. I am just a guy who likes to talk about strategy. So let's talk about that. He goes in and runs into Jado, and then Rigsam goes in and Methil gets the grab. So let's talk about the most important thing a defender needs to have. The number one priority for a defender is to stay ahead of the flag. That's number one. If they don't have the flag, just stay ahead of it. The number two priority is to get returns. So, to that end, Rigsam, this is the play it safe mantra. So, Chelsea comes in, gets returned, right? Okay, so Chelsea comes in, he gets returned. So right here, you can do so many things. You can fight Methil. You can let Methil grab and stay ahead of him, and get the return. Lots of things. So right here, what I would do is let Methil grab so he can die. But what you do the wrong thing. You actually put yourself in the perfect position for him to get the 0.25 second immunity and get free. And so I feel like there's so many better things. I feel like there's so many better things you could do instead of that. Like, for instance, you can stay ahead of him, stand still. So you have the option of, oh my god. Oh no. Okay, let me do the shortcut here. Okay. So you have the option of standing still. And that way if he grabs, you're ahead of him. And that way Jado can help and get the return. So you can stay ahead. You have the option of B, fighting him so that he doesn't get the flag. That's also an option. And I guess those are your two only options. You also have the option of convincing him to grab, and then getting the return immediately afterwards. But that's kind of like elite style defense. But what you instead do is you put yourself in the position to be basically pushed and shoved and taken out. So I can't really tell you what to do. I can only tell you what you did wrong. So really think about, Rigsam, what you're doing there, and realize that a lot of offenders can bump you off the flag like that, and then he gets free. Also, as a side note, make sure you're using the texture pack that shows proper hitboxes for the flags and everything. So my flag is a circle because that's the actual hitbox for a circle. If your flag is the vanilla texture pack, you need to change that. So you can make sure as a defender you need to defend, because if you don't know what you're blocking because you're using the vanilla texture pack, it's not going to work. Let's see, let's dial that back a bit. He gets free.
Yep.
Alright, Squiggly. Did Squiggly grab there? What did Squiggly do?
Alright, Tomb Base. Officially yet.
Oh, was that the grab that I was talking about that you shouldn't have done? Yeah. So grabbing is super risky because of this reason. It's the you never know what's gonna happen rule, or I don't know if I call it a rule, but it's the you never know what's going to happen mantra, which is if you grab and die, you never know what's going to happen. They can get out of base past 3.
The first week map,
You never really know, so that's why I try to play. That's why I play towards the safe side of things.
Like a 30
Oh no, it's because of that. It's because of that boost.
Stupid boost.
All right, so he gets past 3.
Mid left.
Nazgul, this is okay, so Jado says he's coming mid left. Because of the numbers, he should be saying he's coming in 2 now. This is before I even said you should play numbers, though, so it's not anyone's fault. But he's saying coming 2, right? So he's coming 2, Nazgul. So he's coming 2. So what you should be doing here, what I feel like you should be doing here is he's coming 2, so you block 2 aggressively here. You block 2 aggressively, or you have the option of being conservative and blocking 2 conservatively, and by being here, that way you're blocking all this. Basically, he's coming 2, so you know he's going to come through this avenue. So you can either play it aggressively or you can play it conservatively and stay here. I say play it conservatively because if you go here, he can get past you at any point if he comes really early. So I don't know. It's really up to you, but what I would do is I would play it conservatively and play it here so that if he boosts in the base, I can get the easy return. As you'll see right now, you end up getting very lucky, Nazgul, and he runs into you by banking. So
Mid left.
he ends up banking off the wall. And going straight into Nazgul. Had he not done that and gone straight, he would have gotten the cap. So, very lucky there.
Nice grab.
That should have been that should have been the cap for them.
Needs to get their base power up.
Power-ups are coming up.
One of you two sneak in there. Chelsea's bombing in.
Yeah, that's good.
You see him?
Chelsea coming up 2.
Okay, so I had a problem here, if I remember. Okay, power-ups are coming up. So this is where it gets tricky. So this is where a lot of questions come into play. So look at Squiggly. Squiggly wants to get this power-up, right? But at the same time, people are saying, oh, he's passed, Chelsea's passed, he's free with the flag. So that does a couple things. That scares the offense. Nazgul, as you can see, he's not getting power-ups. He's on OD right now because he's scared that the FC is going to come in. Squiggly is scared that the FC is going to come in. He doesn't want to cause a cap. So as you can see, Squiggly's he's gonna leave the power up and he's gonna go towards here because he's scared that Chelsea's gonna be there. And as you can see, Squiggly didn't need to do that because the defense was in front for the most part because of the boost and everything. Squiggly ends up getting the power up anyway. I don't know why. Quibble could have just waited for it, but I want you guys to talk to each other about what you could have done here. I want you guys to talk about what you do when power-ups are coming up and the FC is free. So my personal idea is the defense says, okay, power-ups are coming up, we're going to play prevent. We're going to play not letting them pass. So maybe the defense can say, contained, he's contained, we're not letting them pass, go get your power-ups. That's an option. An option is to play it safe and Squiggly to not get the power-up, which I don't like because I think power-ups are very important. I don't know if I've said this before, but Tag Pro strategy, I believe, should be revolved around power-ups. I believe everything you should do. I believe everything you do as a Tag Pro player should revolve around power-ups. So to that end, I feel like Jado and Rigsam should stay in front of Chelsea, and most importantly, make the offense feel safe. So if you guys are safe, make the offense feel safe. Make them feel like they can get power-ups if they can. If they can't, make that very clear. You can't get power-ups. Play OD. But at the same time, talk to your teammates, talk to each other about what you do in a situation where the flag is free and there are power-ups.
Up 2.
in this situation, the flag isn't actually free because Rig Sam is in front of the flag carrier. And that's one thing. Rig Sam, power-ups are coming up. You need to stay in front of the flag carrier. You can't do this where you... That's not acceptable. I'm just gonna say it right there. It's not acceptable. I'm gonna call all of you out a lot, and I'm gonna be very brutal. And if you guys don't like me by the end of the season, that's fine. But I'm just trying to make you guys better. And if you're new, it's fine. It's expected that you mess up. Like, you making mistakes is very expected. That's fine. I'm just gonna be aware that I'm gonna call you guys out a lot, and so just be wary of that. So Rig Sam right there, that's just a matter of playing good or playing bad. So you could have actually gotten the return there if you played it well enough, but I don't really. That's a thing where I can't really tell you what to do. You already know what you need to do there. Just if you're watching, just rewind that and play it over and ask yourself questions like, what could I have done there? What do I do next time if I see myself in that kind of situation? Do I slow down? Do I play it a little more patiently? Do I play more aggressively? What do I do? Just ask yourself those kinds of questions, and then in no time you'll get so much better.
Oh wow, I bumped you. Nice pops.
So, because you guys couldn't control the FC, you're not necessarily in the best position for pups. Even then, this team isn't that good, so you guys get pups anyways.
I got right. It's a tag pro.
So, okay, this is one that I wanted to talk about. So, Jado was right to get the power up here. Nazgul was right to get the power up here. Like I said, strategy should revolve around getting the power ups. So, you guys getting the power ups isn't necessarily the bad thing here. Metho's gonna cap here. He's gonna get a cap here. So Nazgul gets the Juke Juice. It's a good idea because you're blocking the lane and you're getting the power up at the same time. You're going to realize, I want you guys to look at Squiggly and Rig Sam. I want you guys to look at Squiggly and Rig Sam and see what they do here when they get the cap. And see if they bring any value to the team. Like, did their presence actually affect anything? I want you guys to think about that.
51.
I got left at 40.
They're coming left, far left.
Yeah, it's a rolling bomb.
Oh, that's a cap.
Coming up left.
Alright, so they get the cap there. So let's think about what Squiggly and Rig Sam did.
Rolling bomb.
Oh, that's
We got
I
it.
got right.
Okay, so Squiggly has the Juke Juice. None of you guys know where he is. I don't know if everyone knows that, but none of you guys actually know where he is. None of you know he has a rolling bomb at this point. And so right here, none of you guys know where he is. So the mantra here is play it conservatively. Play it. You know, you don't know where he is, so he could come from anywhere. So play it conservatively. So what Squiggly does is he grabs, and it's a bad grab. I feel like this is an emotional grab. I feel like this is a grab. I feel like this is a grab you only did because Quibble bombed into you, and I don't know, maybe you felt trapped, maybe you felt like you had to get out of there, maybe you felt like you could grab and risk it because your team would back you up, and your team would save you even if you died, but as you'll see, that's not the case. So what I would say there, Squiggly, is there's nothing wrong with playing it safe. Like, maybe you get out, but there's nothing wrong with playing it safe, and oftentimes playing it safe is so much better. I don't know if I've told you guys this, but after playing Tag Pro for a little more than a year, I've realized that preventing caps is much, much more important than creating caps or trying to create caps. Trying to prevent caps is much more important than trying to create caps. So right here, Squiggly, you're trying to create a cap when you should have been trying to prevent a cap. And I mean, I guess you can give the argument that, well, my team's supposed to back me up. Well, my team's supposed to do all that. The thing is, I guess they are supposed to, but at the same time, it's the you never know what's going to happen rule. You never know if he's going to have a rolling bomb like this in this scenario. You never know if he's going to juke past 3 people because he did an insane juke or something. Like, you never know. So you have to play it. You have to play it safe. Having said that, if you know you're going to get out of base, then grab the flag. Obviously, if you know that you're obviously gonna get out of base. But never make a risky grab like that if you're not sure whether you'll get out or not. Like, if that was me, I knew that I wouldn't get out of base, so I just wouldn't grab. That's what I would do. So that was the first mistake, I guess. What RigSam does, let's talk about positioning here. Let's talk about offensive.
Right.
Let's talk about offensive D positioning. So you don't know where he is. Let's think about this. Let's entertain ourselves for a bit. Let's say we were waiting here. Let's say RigSam was waiting here. He wanted to block 3 and 4. So he blocks 3 and 4. Methyl boosts in here. There's nothing RigSam can do. They get a cap. Okay. Let's say you block 3. Let's say you're standing here. You wanna not let them get through this way. Let me check if my mouse actually is very important. Okay, so my mouse does show, I think, so that's good. Alright, so yeah, so he wants, if let's say you block that lane, okay, you block that lane, Methyl boosts in here, maybe you save the day by maybe the boost is there, maybe you save the day, but you probably won't. So let's say you I think those are all my let's says. So what I'm trying to get at here is that I feel like these lanes are not very important. Why? Because there's no boost there. I mean, okay, you can boost here, but I mean, like, if they do, if you're here, you're already there to defend it, so it's no big deal if they do. So if you're here, if you're blocking these lanes, then that means should they come here, you're not in that big of a trouble because you can retreat and block the flag. So as for OD, going here and here isn't terrible if he ends up going through here. However, if you're blocking this and he comes through here, you're fucked. Because if he comes through here, he's boosting in at a great velocity, and you're fucked. You're all the way over here. You're not going to be able to protect this. So it's about blocking the lanes where he can go quickest to the flag, which are these lanes, which he's going to go full speed to. If he goes through here, notice how there's no boost here. I mean, yes, there's this boost, but besides that one, he's going to be walking in if he goes through here, which isn't a big deal. That means he's going to go through here slowly, which is what you want. You don't want him to get into base quickly. So what RigSam should be doing is sitting right here, somewhere in this vicinity. That way, if he boosts here, he's dead. That way, if he boosts here, he's dead. That way, if he boosts here, he's trapped. That way, if he waltzes into here, he waltzes in there, so he's coming in slowly, so you have the ability to either block him or go behind the boost and boost into him. So right there, you're in a very powerful position. This is the most popular place to prevent a cap. This is the most popular place for OD. This is only, I say, if you have other friends that can block this place. So this is the second best place to block. I would say maybe right here behind the bomb, maybe right here. I don't know, but somewhere right here would be nice. Somewhere in this general area, blocking this place would be good. At the same time, though, a lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people like to play 2 OD, playing very closely. So they like to do this. They like to play close to the flag. That way, there's pretty much no way they'll cap. Because it doesn't matter if you come through here. It doesn't matter if you come through here. It doesn't matter if you come through here. You still have to beat 2 people, and that's very hard to do. So, let's say Squiggly plays here. And let's say RigSam plays here. And he blocks this. There is still the possibility that he boosts in here. And then let's say the boost here is open, so he uses that to boost in. And then let's say he goes behind the wall here. He could cap like that, right? He could cap like that. It's possible. Let's say again, Squiggly's blocking that. Rigsam is blocking this. He boosts in here. There's actually a boost combination where you boost in here and then you bomb in here in quick succession, and then you boost in here. You can cap like that. In NLTP, I doubt anyone in NLTP tries that, but let's say they do, they can cap like that. So playing OD like this, blocking these two lanes, does have its disadvantages. And playing conservatively right here, playing conservatively here, does have its disadvantages because you can't get the return quickly. But at the same time, you're playing it safe. And like I always say, playing it safe never hurts. So that's up to you. I can't tell you guys what to do. I can only give you options and tell you what the benefits and consequences of each option is. So right here, I would suggest Rigsam go over here. He's not in a position to go over here because there's no time. You don't know where he's going to come through. Or actually, you can. Never mind. That was bad of me to say. You have the option of playing it conservatively or semi-conservatively by doing it here. And you'll see that Rigsam, you do neither.
I got left at 40.
He boosts in, and I mean, you don't do anything. You provide no value. You don't even slow him down. You don't actually do anything. Had you have played it super conservatively, that at least would have been better.
I got right. It's a tag pro.
Let's say you played it super duper. I'm scared. I am so scared. Conservatively. Let's say you played it super conservatively and you were right next to the flag, trying to prevent anything. That would have at least been better than what you actually did.
I got 51. I got left at 40.
They're coming left, far left.
Yeah, it's a rolling bomb.
Oh, that's a cap.
In fact, had you had done that, had you had played super conservatively, you actually would have saved the cap because Nazgul was fortunate enough to get the deactivate, the defuse. You actually would have saved it if you played super conservatively. So just think about that. I'm not saying you have to play conservatively there. I'm just saying think about it and think about what you would want to do there. Because like I say, in Tag Pro there are so many options in strategy. I can only give you the optimal strategies, the strategies that you might want to think about and experiment for yourself. Think about other strategies you could do that are not necessarily strategies that I talk about. Just think about the game in general. So let's rewind there. Okay, so Jado could have played it here, but honestly, I think power-ups are very important. You guys could have saved the cap without Nazgul and Jado. So Jado getting the power-up here is very good, I think. I think maybe if you want to play super perfectly and optimal, maybe Jado could have, to stay ahead of the flag carrier and to play it safe, Jado could have gotten the flag and then automatically return back to the base, and maybe the boost is there, so maybe he gets back to base even quicker. And he has a tag bro, so they're not going to cap when you have a tag bro in base. You will probably get out of base with the tag bro, so maybe Jado going to get the power up and instantly retreating, playing it conservatively, that would have probably been a much better idea. In fact, if he had done that, he would have saved the cap because like I said before, he ends up. Where is it?
They're coming left, far left.
He ends up coming in the base with nobody there, and had there at least been one person there, it would have saved the cap. So if Jado had done that, it would have saved the cap. But even then, it wasn't necessarily like the wrong play, I guess. It's just something to think about. Okay, so Jado doesn't end up doing that. Jado ends up just going through with it, just going here. Okay, so he's right there. Right here, Jado probably still doesn't know where he is. Even though he went around, I feel like he still could have saved the play because you don't know where he is, so I feel like you have to play it conservatively. Also, you have a tag bro, so I feel like you should be in base. That's my thought process. My thought process is you don't know where the flag is, Jado, So you should go this way and try to stay here and play it safe, play it conservatively. As you'll see when I play the video, as you'll see, you actually could have saved it if you follow the blue line that I wrote.
Far left.
You could have been behind the boost there, and you could have boosted in to save the day. So that was another option. Those were other options. So just think about these options. Think about how you can change your mentality of the game so that given a general situation, you can approach that situation and make a play. I accidentally exited with my paint tool, so let me do that. All right, we're back. Let's see. Oh no, expand it. I feel like it's recording. I have to check now. It's recording. So let me show the video in the main window. Okay, there you are. All right. What was I talking about? Okay, so Jado had that option. What other options, I guess, did he have? Let's see. And I feel like you guys improving isn't going to come from what I tell you. I feel like you guys improving is going to come from rewinding and watching what you guys do and thinking about what you could have done, because that's how I got better. I used to be a very, very bad player, and how I got better was looking at recordings like this and looking at what I did and analyzing everything what I did and thinking about what I could have done instead, and using that to formulate my own general strategy about approaching the game.
I got right. Attack, bro.
So like right there, Jado, you could have gone towards 3.
They're coming left.
You could have also gone towards 4, I guess, and used the boost, the very right boost. But what I want you to really notice that what you did here was useless. I want you to notice that your value towards stopping the cap was very useless, where it could have been useful. And I guess you were going towards this lane because you thought he would go mid, or you thought he would run into you basically. But the thing is, the chance of him running into you is very low. You need to make sure he runs into you in such a way that it's not possible for him to get past you. Basically, playing it conservatively-ish, staying behind the boost, getting to base, making sure you're ahead of the flag carrier, even though you don't know where he is. So, I feel personally like playing it safe here, if you don't know where he is the right play. But you guys can disagree, but just think about it. So yeah, Rigsam, I feel like a better idea would be for you to wait here at 2, because that's a very popular place. You also had the option of helping out Squiggly by playing OD. You also had the option of blocking 1, but blocking 1 is sort of useless because Nazgul's there. Even then, though, he could have blocked. He could have come 1. So, I feel like playing it conservatively and just sitting next to the flag would be the right play, Rigsam. Nazgul, yes, he's putting himself out of position, but at the same time, he's getting a juke juice, and as you can see, he actually gets the return. And had everyone just not messed up, that wouldn't have been the cap, and Nazgul would have been partly responsible for saving the cap. So what Nazgul and Jado did weren't necessarily bad. Jado could have done a little better, possibly saved the cap. Rigsam could have done a lot better. He could have been on OD. Squiggly's play, I felt like, was the most reversible, because you didn't have to grab there. Like I said before, preventing caps is more important than trying to make caps happen. It's much more important. And I'll talk about that a lot more. But it took me a long time to arrive at that conclusion. Let's play on with this.
Oh, that's a cap?
That was my fault.
Okay. I got tag pro if you can grab. I whiffed. Okay. Can you grab? Yeah, go.
Great job.
Grab and go. Follow me. I'm gonna hold back because I'm out of time.
Okay, I think this is so smart. Jado coming back to pop instead of taking the lead and taking Rigsam's boost, he decides to go back and kill the player there and possibly kill McNerdy. He doesn't end up killing McNerdy, but I feel like you should trust your offense. You should trust the fact that there's one player in base, and you should cap with that. And then just try to kill people to give Rigsam a little bit more breathing room. I think that's a great play by Jado. I'd like to share this moment to say, when you're in the situation where you're past 3 and you have a lot of time, I feel like Rigsam has a lot of time and only one player to beat. So I feel like in this situation, a lot of people do, because they're always aggressive little people who don't think about the game. What a lot of people would do is they would go here and they would boost in. They would boost in here. I feel like that's too obvious. I feel like if you're facing a good team, I feel like this is a cap. Let's put that out. I feel like this is pretty much 1 point for you guys, and I feel like going through this blue path is detrimental because you have one person who can screw everything up. Chelsea FC. By the way, if you're playing this in low quality, you probably can't see the names, so play it in high quality so you can actually see who's who. But this is Chelsea FC, and she's the only one who is standing in your way of getting the cap. So boosting in willy-nilly like this, I feel like is unnecessary and risky, because what if Chelsea's there? What if Chelsea is smart and knows that that's the most popular place to enter and gets the return? There are a lot of major league teams that if you face them, you are not going to cap, because their player is smart and he's going to be there waiting for you. So great job, Rigsam, on not boosting in like this and if you did that, I would feel like that's not smart. Even if you got the cap, I would feel like it's not smart, because you're risking the slight possibility that you wouldn't make the cap. I feel like you have a lot of options here. You could have taken the boost and gone here. I feel like that's a much better decision than going 3, because if you boost in 4, I feel like not a lot of people on OD. There's only one person left. I feel like that one person would not block 4. I feel like he would prioritize blocking 3. I feel like he would be sitting behind the boost, kind of like how Chelsea is doing right now. If he's sitting behind the boost, Nazgul and Squiggly will block for you. You don't have to worry about that. I feel like going 4, I feel like there's no chance that, Chelsea is... I feel like there's a very little possibility that Chelsea's just like right in your face. Oh, I expected you to go 4. I don't feel like that's a possibility. So you boosting in 4, I feel is a good option. I feel like those are your really only good options. I guess you could have slowed a little bit and boosted in this way, but I mean, I feel like that would take up too much time. The other possibility was just ignoring the boost to begin with. So ignoring the boost and just waltzing in, which is such a great idea, I think, because let's say Chelsea does come here. Well, you're not boosting in, so you have the ability to dodge and let him get blocked, and you get the cap. So what I'm saying is, if you have one person left in base, you don't have to rush it. You don't have to risk it. You only have one person in base. Just don't fuck it up, is what I'm trying to say here. And Rigsam ends up not fucking it up, as you'll see. He doesn't take the boost. Maybe he wanted to take the boost. I don't know. But it ended up being the right decision, because, as you can see, look, Chelsea was right there. Had Rigsam boosted in 3, Chelsea would have returned them. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about just willy-nilly boosting in the base. You don't know, so just don't do it. Don't take that chance. So Rigsam waltzes in. He doesn't fuck it up. He doesn't run into Chelsea unsmartly, and he ends up getting the cap. Great job.
Nice
guys.
Nice
I'm staying back on D.
Okay, I'm gonna try and
I'll get Naz, I'll stay back.
Yep. Squiggly power up.
I'm not going to talk a lot about power-ups, and I'm not going to talk a lot about getting power-ups. I guess I should. But in general, power-ups, kind of like how I was talking about in-game, announce power-ups in downtime. What do I mean by downtime? Times like right now, where both flags are set, times where you have the ability to talk to each other and not do much. Talk to each other. Hey, Jado, do you know when their base is? Does anyone know when right is? Does anyone know when left is? Does anyone know the order, the general order? Does anyone know? It's fairly early. It's only 8 minutes left, so that means the power-ups are probably pretty early. Does anyone know if any power-ups are very late? Is a good question to ask. Because you can reasonably expect that the power-ups are around 50, 40. Maybe there's a power-up that's at 15, you know? That's a good question. Are there any late power-ups because it's early in the game? Those are things you should be talking about towards power-ups. And in general, just really emphasize them. But like I said, revolve your strategy around them. I think revolving your strategy around power-ups should entail that the defense is always staying in front of the FC. That way, whoever's getting the power-up doesn't have to be afraid that the FC is going to get past them, you know, because he got a power-up, you know, things like that. So, without further ado, I'll keep playing this recording.
By the way, soon I'm going to just stick around with Quibble, and then I'm going to get the base.
There's no one in base.
Okay. I'm getting there, Pop.
That was a great job by Jado to get the pup before Quibble. Nazgul, that was what I was talking about. Or Squiggly, I think it was. But someone was trying to get their base, but they fail to get their base because they didn't come early enough. Nazgul probably does this later on, but it's very important that you beat the defense in getting here, because if you are the first person to enter this little power-up cave, you get the power-up. That power-up is pretty much yours, and that in itself is extremely powerful, because every time you wait for a power-up, if you're facing a good team, every time you're facing the power-up, there will be someone to fight you for that power-up, and you getting that power-up is 50-50. But if you beat Quibble, if you beat the defender, that power-up is yours 100%, and that's very powerful to have. So Jado entering the cave before Quibble did is very, very good. It's a very good thing to do. Nazgul here does a very good, I don't know if you saw, but Nazgul does a very good move. McNerdy did such a terrible, I feel like if it's one-on-one, if you're a defender, that's a good point to make. If you're McNerdy and Nazgul is trying to beat you for the flag, you should never let them out of base. If you cannot call yourself a decent defender if you let someone out of base one-on-one. One-on-one is very easy for a defender. They should never ever grab the flag when it's one-on-one. They should never ever get out of base when it's one-on-one. As a general rule, practice your one-on-ones if they do. But as you can see, McNerdy totally gives it up. He does such a bad play. See, right there. He gives it up. There was no reason for him to juke right. All he had to do was stand still, and he wouldn't have grabbed the flag. Nazgul does a great job of making him juke. And he gets out of base.
What time is there, Pop, officially, by the way? Nice, you're out.
So, good job, Nazgul.
2 in base.
Even though Jado came a little early, Quibble gets there super early, so he had to come earlier than Quibble. Good job, Jado. Even though you came a little early, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Here's something I wanted to talk about. Power-ups are coming up. It's 8:04. That means power-ups are somewhere in the 50s or 40s, I believe. So my idea here is that because power-ups are showing up, because there's probably 2 in base, which there are, let's be honest, you're probably not going to cap if you rush into base. You're probably not going to cap. However, if you stay alive long enough for Jado to get the power-up, if you stay alive long enough for Jado to get 2 power-ups maybe, or for Rigsam or Squiggly to get their base power-up, let's say one of those is a tag pro. Right there, you're alive, someone has a tag pro, that is a very good position to have. So, Nazgul, when you get the flag, look at the timer every time you get the flag. anyone who gets the flag, look at the timer. If power-ups are coming up, which is why it's so important to say power-ups are coming up in 10 seconds. That's so important because Nazgul hears that and he says, okay, power-ups are up. Jado isn't even ornery. He's waiting for a power-up. Your number one priority as FC is to not cap. Your number one priority as FC in this situation is to hold the flag and survive. That's your priority. So to that extent, you shouldn't have boosted the way you boosted. To that extent...
What time is there, Pop, officially, by the way? Nice, you're out, Nazgul.
Okay, so you're right here, right? You need to stay alive. That's your number one priority. So the question now is... We already know you need to stay alive. We already know that. So the question is, what do you do? So what I would do is I would boost here. I would boost there. That way, if Chelsea and Methil happen to die, I could just bounce off and just come towards the cap. But if that doesn't happen, I stay alive, which is the number one reason why you do this. You boost in, you stay alive. Maybe you boost here. I don't know. You stay alive basically. Another option is to go here, which is just as good as a decision. Boost into the corner, bank off the walls. I don't know, but basically do anything but what you just did, which is basically Nazgul. You're gonna be aware you boosted into a death trap. Is what you did. You boosted into a death trap, which you'll see here when I play the game. So you boosted in.
Alright.
You're dead at this point. You're dead. Jado wants to get the power up. Left and right power ups are going to spawn. You're not going to be in a position to get left and right. If they were to spawn right now, you wouldn't be in a position to get them. And you die. Even then, when you die, you'll realize that it wasn't actually that bad to begin with. Cause okay, you're dead right now. Jado.
Yeah.
Right there, it might have been a good...
Jado ends up getting the flag, so no biggie. So okay, Jado ends up getting the flag anyway. So, not that big of a deal. This means that now the roles are switched. Now Jado's goal is to stay alive, and Nazgul, your goal is to get either left power up or right power up or their base power up. So Nazgul, your job is not to get re, your job is to get a power up. Make your time useful. Your time spent on regrab is not useful if Jado's gonna stay alive. Your time on regrab is useful if you use that time instead to get a power up. Jado's job is to stay alive. So power ups are coming up. You have to prioritize power ups before getting the flag, before getting re. And notice how risky that is. It's risky to sacrifice re to get a power up. That is risky. But it's a riskiness that is worth it. It's worth it to be risky there, because as long as the defense stays ahead of the flag carrier, it's worth it. I mean, let's say you get a tag pro, Jado stays alive. Let's say Jado gets a rolling bomb or a juke juice or something. That's extremely beneficial, and meanwhile the defense is in front of the FC. So that's an extremely beneficial position to be in. You don't have re, but you don't have to have re because the defense becomes your safety net. Notice what I said. Nazgul is getting the power up. That means you don't have re. The defense should be aware that there is no re. Therefore, Nazgul is no longer the safety net. Therefore, the defense is now the safety net. Therefore, the defense has to play way more conservatively, way more intelligently. The defense has to prioritize staying in front of the FC no matter what. That is so important here because the power-ups are coming up. When the power-ups are coming up, you have to stay in front of the FC. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. You have to do everything you can to stay ahead of the FC. And as you'll see when I play the video, that is not what happens.
The idea to hold the flag instead of forcing it, so
he gets passed, which is a very bad thing to do. and I guess I could analyze why he gets past, but I think that's analysis that you should save for yourselves.
Yeah.
Rigsam, you straight up, honestly, you just straight up, you do a bad angle.
Hold the flag instead of
You do a bad angle. If you notice Squiggly,
Yeah, too.
right.
letting Chelsea grab isn't that bad. In fact, if you're playing risky D, it's actually good that you let Chelsea grab, because then you get the return, and that's one less person you have to deal with. So there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I might even advocate that, but it's too risky for me. I wouldn't do that myself, but other people might do it, and they would probably benefit. But letting Chelsea grab isn't wrong in itself, as long as you get the return.
There, it might have been a good idea.
So right here, you have the ability to get the return. Most veteran defenders that have been playing this game for a long time get that return pretty much 99 times out of 100, or 90 times out of 100, 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, pretty much any defender worth his salt will get this return. Because of that reason, Squiggly, as you notice, Squiggly is getting the regrab. Squiggly is trusting you to get the return, and he's getting the regrab.
Yeah, to hold the
You fail in that endeavor, I guess, and Squiggly is left in a position where he was preventing regrab, and now he's past both of you guys. So, Rigsam realized that in this situation there was someone depending on you to get the return, and because you didn't get the return, no one was there to make up for your mistake, and he went past 2. Realize that you are the safety net, because Nazgul doesn't have a re. You are the safety net, so don't play it aggressively. Right there, you played it very aggressively. You played it aggressively. You went for the return aggressively. Play it conservatively in that situation. With time, just stay ahead. Just stay ahead. Had you have stayed ahead, Squiggly would have probably gotten the return for you. So that's it. Just stay ahead in that situation. Play it safe. Stay ahead.
a good idea to.
Okay, so so right there. Let's slow motion through it. Okay, he has the flag right there, Rigsam. Your number one priority is being ahead of him. Don't dive like you do right now. Whatever. He banked the wall. Don't dive for it. I know you want to emotionally go for the return because it's just human nature to want to do that. But just get rid of that human emotion. Get rid of that human nature, the desire to get that return. Play it safe. With time and experience, you'll be able to get those returns by playing aggressively. And if you want to practice playing aggressively in practice, you can do that. If you want to practice, but just realize that in actual games where it matters, you should lean towards playing it a little bit more safe there. Once you get really good, you don't have to listen to me though. Once you get really good at defense, you can do whatever the hell you want. As long as you get the return, you will shut my mouth, and I can't say anything because you got the return, right? But right there you don't. So just be aware of that.
To hold the flag instead of so your friends can get power-ups.
You're definitely right.
Alright, so now you guys are in a little bit of a pickle, and so now all the plans to get power-ups are scraped. Now the priority is getting the FC, of course, so now you can't get power-ups, so it's unfortunate.
You're right.
Jado does a smart thing here. He actually ends up getting their base power-up 50.
I'll give it.
Very smart by Jado.
What's a roller? It's a rolling.
Did he pop himself? I think he popped himself. Wow. What a bad play by Methel. As you'll see, Jado will do a equally bad play by popping himself there. That's just in a game, in practice it's fine, you can laugh at yourself, but in a game that is so unacceptable. I'm not going to be too serious about that because those are things that happen, but just you already know. I don't need to tell you. In the game, popping yourself like that is not acceptable. Think about what you were thinking at the time when you were doing that, and think about what you need to change so that you don't do things like that anymore. Maybe you weren't focusing. Maybe your emotions were a little too high. Maybe you need to stop maybe you need to get rid of your emotions a little bit and focus more. I don't know. But I do a lot of plays like that. Whenever I spike myself, I look at it and I go, okay, I should have been more calm here. I should have been at the time. I was worried because they were about to cap. At the time, I had so much adrenaline, I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing. So when I do things like that, I think I should have been more calm. I shouldn't have let my emotions get to me. I should have just played it a little more slowly and just take things in before I do actions. This isn't about Jado's play. This is about generally messing up. That's what I do when I look at myself, when I look at recordings of myself.
That's me. I'm
left 41.
Great job in getting the power-ups.
I got tag pro right.
Out left, outside left, inside left, inside left, inside left, inside left, inside left, inside left. Nice.
Great snipe. How does he get free here? Let's look at it.
41.
Alright.
Okay. Okay, Jado. This lane. Never give them that lane. This lane is people's favorite lane in Velocity. It's such a favorite play because defenders think that they have them, but this space is a lot more open than people think, and it's very easy to juke people. So right here, the smart play would be to block this space. Just block it. You don't have to get the return, just block it. And then look at Squiggly. Realize that Squiggly is on the right side, so realize that if you do block this play, he's not gonna juke past you because Squiggly's right there to back it up and to play this. So just be aware of where your friends are, and even if it means sacrificing this area, Jado, it's fine because Squiggly is there to back you up. So just be aware of a defender of lanes. What possibilities can the FC get through, and if it means getting super aggressively blocking the left side, so be it. At least you're ahead of him. And you can even think about it this way.
41. Coming on down.
You can think about it this way. Right there. Okay, right there. Right there, you're in a state of decision, Jado. I obviously am not going to advocate this. You obviously shouldn't do this in the game, but let's entertain ourselves for a bit, and let's just say that instead of going for Quibble, let's just say that you played it super safe. Don't do this, but you played it super safe and you boosted in and you didn't grab the flag, but you stayed next to the flag because you were so scared of him getting past you. Even that would have been a better play than what you ended up doing, which is you went this way and then you let him go this way and then he was past you. If you had played super conservatively, which I don't advocate, even that would have been better, is what I'm saying. So, just think about those kinds of things. Think about that idea that I'm trying to instill. And again, I can't tell you what to do. I can only suggest to you what to do. At the end of the day, you do what you feel you need to do based off of the knowledge that I give you. Like right there, you could have gotten the return if you were good enough. If you were an elite defender.
Right.
Out left, outside left, inside left,
maybe,
inside left,
I don't know, maybe
left,
not. That was a great boost by Squiggly.
Nice. Nicely done.
Let me grab behind you.
Okay, he's left. Careful, you two. Careful.
There's also going to be a lot of mistakes that I don't point out. Like right there were mistakes, but I'm not going to point them out because those are mistakes that I feel like don't need to be pointed out, and those are just you have to look at them yourself, fast forward, rewind it, play it again, rewind it, and see what you could have done. But yeah, I'm not going to point out that many. I'm going to talk more about general strategy.
He's left going bombs.
My bad.
He's backed up. Squiggly, you stay. I got him. He's boosting right. He's over
right.
under the right here. Yeah, he's coming up cut him off the top of ours. Yep, cut him off right now. Cut him off right now.
That was a good play. I don't know if Jado said he was very right. I wasn't paying attention. But this is a pretty good play here. They're going to cap right after this. And I forget who's useless. I think Rigsam is useless. Okay, no. Pretty much everyone is useless in the play that's going to come up except for Squiggly. So just look at Chelsea grab the flag and look at what everyone but Squiggly does, and think about why what you guys did was wrong. Everyone but Squiggly did something wrong. So let's look at this play.
Nice done, guys. I'm gonna boost down.
Cover left.
Oh, no, left.
He's left. Above the flag.
That's a good boost.
Okay, so maybe Nazgul grabbing the flag lured Chelsea in to try to get the cap. As you can see, Rigsam, Jado did absolutely nothing to get the flag. Like, maybe you guys were playing risky, maybe by chance, Velocity is a game where the FC has so many options, but maybe he'd run into me. Maybe that was your idea. I don't know. But he ended up getting past both you and Rigsam, Jado. And Nazgul, what Nazgul does, you can argue that Nazgul actually, that's a bad decision, grabbing the flag there. But you can argue that Nazgul lured Chelsea in to get the cap, and Squiggly was right there, and Squiggly saved the cap. So you can argue that Nazgul actually didn't do something that terrible, but I will argue that that's not true, that Nazgul shouldn't have grabbed the flag. I argue that if Chelsea was a major league player, if Chelsea was a smart player, Chelsea would have obviously realized that Squiggly had the advantage and not died. Squiggly would have flacided. Nazgul's already dead. Squiggly flacids. McNerdy blocks Rigsam. That's a cap. So what I'm trying to say is that if this was a smart team, that was a cap. I said it was a cap. It wasn't a cap. Squiggly saves it. But if it was a smart team, that was a cap. So Nazgul did do a mistake there. And Squiggly played it pretty much perfectly, I think. Well, I shouldn't use the word perfectly. But he played it very intelligently. He notice how on OD, he's the only one on OD. And he manages to choose the one spot where he ends up, which is the most popular spot for a flag to enter base. So look at that. Squiggly is in the perfect position, the most popular position that he could be. The most he's only one person. He can't block everything, but he manages to choose the one place where he's most likely to be. Chelsea banks the wall, but even if Chelsea went straight, he would have gotten returned. She would have gotten returned anyway. And then even though Squiggly is blocked, he manages to evade the block. McNerdy isn't a very good player. McNerdy could have blocked that actually, and they could have capped, but McNerdy messed up, and Squiggly managed to get the return. So good job, Squiggly, there. Jado, let's think about what you did first. Okay, so great job getting the return there. Okay, so let's think about this. You would have been better off if you had waited by the boost here. In fact, actually, to be honest, I would argue that you need an inspector. What do I mean by that? I would argue that you can play by the boost to play it safe, or you can play Mr. Inspector, which by that I mean you play. Actually, that you should never do that. You should never. If you do this, if you go through this bottom arrow, it's extremely risky. What I mean by that is your role is to scout the enemy's position to try to see where he is. That way, the other three can block, whatever lane he's coming in. That's what I mean by Mr. Inspector. Jado can do that. That's a strategy that you can do. So if you want to play Mr. Inspector and see where he is because you don't know where he is and you feel like knowing where he is advantageous, which I think is a good idea, I suggest you go here. That way he doesn't get past you. Going here is super aggressive. Going in this arrow is so aggressive. That's like Grief Seed style of aggressive. It's pretty aggressive, and I wouldn't advocate that. Going here if you want to play Mr. Inspector is fine. Be aware though that if Jado does want to scout the enemy position, Rigsam, you have to be. Let's look at what Rigsam does. Let's see. Rigsam is basically useless. He's useless here. He doesn't do anything. I mean, he was trying to go for it, but I mean, I don't know. Like, he could have gotten lucky. But let's say Chelsea goes very left instead of middle. Rigsam wasn't going to get that. Let's say he went through the pipes. Rigsam wasn't going to get that. So, yeah, Rigsam could have gotten lucky, but he shouldn't have been there to begin with. And he was essentially useless to the possible cap. Rigsam's position was useless. He could have been right next to the flag, and even that would have been better, even though I would say that's too conservative. So Rigsam right here, I would suggest, there are a lot of things you can do. Personally, I don't know where the FC is, so like I said before, actually, if it was me, I would play super aggressive. It's not aggressive. I would play superhero, and I would sit next to this boost if it was me, because I like to play the hero. But I don't suggest you guys do this. Sitting next to the boost, waiting for people to come in so you can boost into them is a little risky. I would do that because I've played in the league enough to do that and be successful. But you should probably just wait here, just wait there, or probably a better idea. Help Squiggy play OD, or what else? Or tell Nazgul, Rigsam, tell Nazgul to play OD, because I don't know if I've told you guys this, there should always be 2 people on OD. That's a rule. That rule can be broken, but it's a rule. It should probably always be enacted. There should always be 2 people on OD. Squiggly is the only person on true OD right now. So either Rigsam goes on OD, or Rigsam tells Nazgul to bomb into OD. Don't grab the flag, Nazgul. Just go into OD. Bomb into OD. And Rigsam, being aware that Nazgul and Squiggly are in OD, Rigsam goes next to the boost, or waits here, whichever. So those are some options that you guys can do, and you guys can talk about. I want you guys to talk about these things. I'm not telling you guys what necessarily to do. I'm just talking about options and benefits and consequences of those options. Or Rigsam could have gone here and told Nazgul to sit here or something. I don't know. A lot of options here, but the basic idea is 2 people on OD at the very least. Jado, you have the option of playing 3D. Or you can see what the FC is doing. I like the idea of seeing what the FC is doing, because you never know. What if there's a rolling bomb there? And if you play conservatively, the fallback is if there's a rolling bomb there, there's no one to contest Chelsea for that. There's no one to contest Chelsea from getting a rolling bomb. So that's the only fallback of playing conservatively in this situation. However, if you know that there are no power-ups coming up, you can play conservatively, and that would be a great decision. I would commend you for playing conservatively there. So I already talked about what Jado and Rig did wrong. Nazgul, you bombing in isn't. There's nothing bad about that. There's nothing. It's fine as long as you like. Let's slow down here. So let's play slow mo here. You bombing in is fine as long as you stay on OD. So right here, what you should have done is, I feel you should have done is, you bump into Quibble, and bumping into Quibble, you ricochet, and you're playing OD with Squiggy. Right here, it should be very obvious that if you grab the flag, you're dead. That should be very obvious to you. You're going into a dead corner. And try to think about, I don't know. I feel like you're a reasonable person. You should know that's a death trap. If you don't know that that's a death trap, teach yourself to learn that that's a death trap. It should be apparently obvious. But right here, you should be banking off, playing OD with Squiggy, who's also playing OD, and trying to prevent the cap. Remember, preventing caps is more important than creating caps. So don't try to create a cap. Try to prevent a cap. That's way more important.
He's left. Above the flag.
That's a good boost.
Oh, nice.
Right. I think I've already said everything I need to say.
I'm going left power up.
Good job going to get power-ups. This is something that I wanted to talk about. Rigsam getting the left power-up is not the worst decision in the world. Rigsam getting this power-up is not the worst decision in the world. But there are better decisions. So, as you'll see, I'll play it.
Get ours. Take it offense.
A good power-up to choose.
Okay, so Quibble gets this power-up.
Is their base or the home base power-ups, because no one can fight you for them if you're.
And Rigsam gets left. So at the end of the day, Rigsam gets attack, bro. So at the end of the day, it's not that bad. However, let's entertain this thought. Let's entertain the thought that instead of going towards left, he goes towards right. First of all, this power-up shows up before left and right. You should know that. That this one goes before left and right. If you knew that their base power-up shows up before left and right, you would have waited for their base. You always wait for the power-ups that show up first. That's an obvious, I feel like that's obvious, you know? You obviously want to wait for the first power-ups that show up, because if you lose the first power-up, you can still go to the one that shows up later, right? So, it's always smart to go towards the power-ups that show up first, if you know the time. So, you should know that this shows up. Even if you didn't know that it showed up first, you should always fight for this power-up first, if you have a decision between choosing this power-up and this power-up. Why? Because of what I said before. The first person that enters the power-up cave, this is the power-up cave. The first person who enters this power-up cave wins the power-up pretty much every single time. That is so powerful, because if Rigsam goes here, let's say Methyl actually does something smart for once and fights for the left power-up. Let's say Methyl goes there. That means that Rigsam's chance of getting the power-up suddenly drops to 50%, or about 50%. So it's 50-50 if he gets this power-up or not. However, if Rigsam goes for this power-up, that's pretty much his power-up, and that is so powerful. So if you have a choice, Rigsam, get this power-up. If left power-up shows up 10 seconds before their base, then I would advocate getting left first and then their base, because if this is 10 seconds late than this, then I would advocate get this. That way, if you fail getting this power-up, you still have the option of getting this. Hopefully someone isn't there when you come back. But yeah, so if you have a choice, go here first. You can never go wrong with beating someone here. You can never go wrong with entering this cave too early. I don't think I've ever heard of someone going into this cave too early. There's no such thing. So let's entertain the thought that Rigsam entered. Let's just entertain that thought. Okay, let's pretend Rigsam is there now. So let's say Rigsam's right here. Okay, so Quibble can't enter, right?
Okay, get ours, Nazgul. Get ours.
Quibble can't enter. Rigsam gets a tag pro.
Take it offense.
Okay, so let's pretend Rigsam gets a tag pro, not Quibble. Now, Rigsam has the tag pro. He should know that left is coming up, and then he rotates in and he waits for left. Okay, so follow my mouse cursor. This is Rigsam.
The home base power-ups.
Rigsam has a tag pro, and he gets an additional tag pro.
But it doesn't.
He just got 2 power-ups. It could have been the Juke Juice, you know. It could have been the Rolling Bomb. So, that was the ideal decision versus the good decision that Rigsam did. So, keep things like that in mind. There are ideal decisions and there are good decisions, and we want to do the ideal decisions.
37 coming on to offense. On top right.
Okay, I want in base.
I couldn't see the spot.
I'll come on to offense with tag pro. We have 3 tag pros.
No sit back.
Never grab. Here's another rule, which can be broken, but you probably shouldn't, especially if you're new. You can only break the rules that I say if you've played long enough that you feel like you can break the rules, because you're good enough, I guess. But if you're I feel like you should never break this rule. Never grab if you're the only person there. Pretty much never. The probability of getting out as one person is so low that even if you get out of base, it's still not worth it. Like, if you grab as one person and you get out, I would probably still get mad at you for grabbing as one person, because what if you didn't? What if you flaccided, you know? Like, think about this. I want you to think about this. Rigsam, Nazgul grabs and dies like he should.
3 tag pros.
No sit back.
Like is expected.
So we're killing the power-up game.
Okay, look at Rigsam. Rigsam no longer has a friend to grab with. So not only did you flaccid and cause a potential cap just in case they got out of base, because Rigsam can't save the day. He's only one person, so that could be a cap right there because he flaccided. Not only that, but now Rigsam has to wait a full 5 to 10 seconds for you to get to base. So you're wasting time. You're wasting so much time because you thought you could get out of base as one person. You should grab as 2 people, not 1. That's one of the reasons why grabbing as one person is a bad idea, if I need to convince you. But yeah, don't grab as one person. In general, remind yourself that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to adhere to rules just because they're rules. Adhere to rules because you feel like they're there for a reason.
About your order, right, Stu, basically?
But no, it's because Rigsam chose the left power-up instead of their base, which is fine, but who knows, someone might have fought you for the power-up and you wouldn't have gotten it, whereas if you got their base...
And right there I'm talking about what I was thinking about.
You would have definitely...
Okay, so Squiggly, this was a bad grab, I think?
Oh, I was not ready for that.
Far left.
Jado, that was a bad boost. Nazgul, that was a good boost. Okay.
Not ready for that.
Let's see here. Okay, Squiggly, I could see what you're trying to do here. I think if Rigsam blocked for you, you could have gotten out of base, maybe?
Their base, you would have definitely...
No, I don't think it's worth it. I think this is one of those dumb grabs. There are intelligent grabs and there are dumb grabs. I don't know if I talked about this, but you should, in velocity, you should avoid grabbing without a boost. Without a boost. You should avoid grabbing without a bomb. This is how you grab. You grab with boosts, you grab with bombs. You usually try to avoid grabbing without them. You know, you usually try to avoid grabbing raw like that. What I'm saying is, if you want to grab raw, you should really think twice before you do it, because most of the time, your thought process is, oh, what if I get out of base? Well, in practice, most of the time, it's a bad idea. Okay, so
you wouldn't have gotten it. Whereas
you juke McNerdy, you grab because you feel you have to. You shouldn't have, because Rig Sam is motioning towards this way, so he's not going to block for you. I think he's trying to go for a boost, which is a good idea. You should go for a boost to try to boost in the base, but that was an unintelligent grab in my opinion. Even though all of you guys have good intentions. Let me get that out of the way. All of you guys have good intentions, but good intentions don't always lead to the best results. Good decisions lead to the best results. So, I don't really care if you had the best intentions in mind. The point is that you flaccid, and that's it. That's all there is to it.
Their base, you would have definitely gotten it.
Far left.
Oh, I was there.
Jado, do you think? I think you could have boosted 1, and then if you boosted 1, you could have gotten ahead. I feel like you know that, though. I feel like you know that, and you just messed up. It was just a gaff.
No.
You know.
Far left.
I can't teach you how to fix gaffes. I can only, I guess, let you be aware of them, and then you do that for yourself. But yeah, Jada, you could have gone through. You could have gone towards 1 in this direction. That's all I have to say about that. You probably already know that. Nazgul, that was pretty good. Pretty much saved the day.
Nice save.
Alright, pops. Someone get their base.
Nice return. Okay, so here, Quibble is such a... I hate Quibble. He's so smart. He comes ahead of when it shows up, which is a good idea. If you're facing someone like Quibble who goes in super early, guess what? You need to come earlier. And you need to be mindful of it. So, Nazgul, I don't know who was there. Nazgul right there. You should be aware of pups before Jado is so aware of pups. He's calling them out. Nazgul, you should be more aware of them. Rig Sam, you should be more aware of them. You guys should be obsessed with pups. You guys need to be obsessed with pups. You guys should be like crazy about them and stuff. You guys need to be very crazy about them. Not because someone's telling you to, but because you want to, is the important thing. I don't want to tell you guys what to do. I want to convince you guys that you want to do them. You know, I want to convince you guys that you want to be obsessed about pups. I don't want to tell you guys to be obsessed about pups. Anyways, Nazgul, you should have been there before Quibble.
Alright, what time's left and what time? Alright, guys, I'm on left.
Even then, Quibble is so dumb. Quibble could have just pushed you. Like, look at what Quibble does. Quibble is so dumb. He could have...
Someone get their base.
Where we said there's no one in Quibble.
Right there, he could have pushed Nazgul off, and he didn't have to let Nazgul enter, but he did because...
What time's left and what time's right, guys? I'm on left, but I don't know when it is.
Because I don't know. He's an NLTP player.
Oh,
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Fuck, what time's right?
Right is...
Sorry, that didn't...
Alright.
That was a bad joke, but
It's
okay. Squiggly, consider... I'm pretty sure this you've thought about this before, but
Fuck, what time's right?
Right.
consider getting the power up and letting Metho grab. Consider letting Metho grab in exchange for a tag, bro. Consider it. I don't know if I've ever done that before. I feel like I've done that before if I've played defense. But think about it, because I've thought about it and I think it would be a good idea. Though I don't think I've ever actually done it. Think about it. Because if he grabs, well, as long as you're in front, it doesn't matter, right? And Rig Sam could boost in and get the return, so... I don't know, think about it. Let's see.
Okay, so since Quibble fought you for a power-up, you tell your other offender that there's only one person defending the...
Yeah, what I say there is true, I guess. Rig Sam, I'm pretty sure you're useless here. I'm pretty sure you do absolutely nothing to help anybody.
Tell your
I
other...
think? I don't know.
But I don't know when it is.
39.
Okay, so right is coming up right now. I don't know who's playing I think Rig Sam, you're playing offense? No, you're playing defense, I think. Anyways, you should be aware. You should be, anyways. No one is what they should be, but you should be, I guess, waiting for right. And the ideal decision is to wait for right. Or I guess you can go over here and help your teammate out. But I mean, power-ups are much more important. You should have waited for right there.
Holy fuck! What time's right?
Right is.
I don't know right.
Okay, so since.
David.
So
yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that.
Power up, you tell your other offender that.
But if you think about it, if Rigsam came in to help and Squiggly had gotten the tag pro, then Rigsam would have been there to help out Squiggly if Methil had grabbed. So, there's a lot of dynamics here. In Velocity, there's a whole mess of that. In Boombox, it's so easy. All you have to do is get power-ups. Well, don't let them pass, In Velocity, there are so many nuances, If you let someone have a power-up, you're letting someone get past. If you don't get a power-up, then, that can hurt you. If you let them get past, that might hurt you, but there are boosts, There's so many things to Velocity, and it's a lot to talk about.
There's only one person defending the flag.
It's a much more complicated map than other maps.
And they can grab.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, Tech Pro and Juke Juice and base.
Squiggly, you're good to take off.
Okay.
Tag Pro coming back out doing offense, guys. He went flag pro and died, so careful.
Base is clear.
Oh, she's outright. Mid right. Boost. Oh, I spike. Oh, he's
What happens
guys,
there?
he went flag pro and died, so careful.
Base is clear.
Oh. That was just one of those things, yeah. You can't really avoid that. It was just one of those things.
Oh, he's outright. Mid right. Boost. Oh, I spiked. What the fuck was I doing?
Okay, Nazgul. That is not acceptable. What happens there? If you're on OD, you stay OD with your partner, and I don't think I need to tell you what you did wrong, but you dived, you missed.
Oh, I spiked. What the fuck was I
So right there, you dived, you missed, where you should have just stayed back, respected the fact that Chelsea was coming in so fast, and gotten the return that way. But you basically left Squiggly all by himself. And then I think they capped. What else? Okay. So yeah, you should have just hanged back with Squiggly, I feel. When you're on OD is tricky. You'll get the hang of it, but OD is tricky. You can never go wrong on OD with just playing it safe. But at the same time, you can play aggressively on OD. But this is just messing up right here. You're just giving them a lane at that point, and it's just like that's not acceptable, to be honest. In a game, you can't let something like that happen. You should just hang back. And right here, Squiggly gets juked. Very, very. Oh man. Oh my god. How close is that? That's just you getting juked. I mean, there's nothing I can say about that. You just got juked. Try not to get juked, I guess. Alright. Alright, maybe I should play in slow motion for the entire game. Now I'm gonna play it.
Oh, they're going behind the flag. Push through. Nice job.
Nice.
Careful about grabbing.
I'll cover left.
Mid left. Mid right.
I'm talking so much. How long is this thing? How long has I've been? This is only the first game. There are like 3 more games that I have left to talk about. So maybe I'll talk a little less. Because I'm getting tired. I've been talking for a long time. Let me see. I've been talking for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Wow. I'm gonna stop here. I have like 3 other games that I recorded. I only went through 5 minutes of this game. Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna stop it here. And let's see. Yeah. General Tag Pro strategy. What I really want to emphasize, and I'm using this game as an example, but what I really want you guys to leave this video with is general Tag Pro strategy. So 1, general tag bro strategy. 1, preventing caps is more important than making caps happen. You might disagree with that. If you want to argue with me about why that is, you can. But think about that. Why is that? Number 2, being patient, being calm is the answer to almost any mistake you make. Pretty much any mistake you make in this game, being calm, being calculated, being patient is pretty much the answer to every single mistake. I say that with experience because I've messed up a lot. I've seen myself messed up a lot, and I would inwardly ask myself, investigate myself, why did I make that mistake? Why did I do that? And the answer has always been because I wasn't calm, because I was thinking about something else, because I thought being aggressive would help here, because I thought this would be the good decision, because I wasn't communicating, because I forgot. Those are usually the reasons. Sometimes it's because I just didn't practice that boost enough. I'm not good enough at that boost, but that's rarely the reason. It's usually because I know how to boost into someone, but I didn't. I missed or something because I wasn't thinking straight. Because of those reasons. So that's number 2. Be patient. Be calm. That goes into what I want to say now. This game, realize before anything that this game is literally a game where you press 4 arrow keys. This game is just a 4 arrow keys game. To that extent, emotion is irrelevant in this game. Think about the NBA, think about the NFL, think about Major League Baseball. Being aggressive, being emotional, being pumped up. If you're playing football, let's say, if you're playing football, being pumped up could be an advantage because it means you have more energy. It means you can get a sack or you can run faster, right? In Tag Pro, you can't run faster. In Tag Pro, it's completely mechanical. You're just pressing 4 arrow keys. The only thing that matters is space and direction. That's the only thing that matters. So to that extent, being emotional, being angry, being frustrated can only hurt you in this game. When you're playing a legitimate game that you want to do well in, the best mental state to be in is a state of calculation, is a state of emotionlessness. That's why a lot of people say they prefer to not speak during games, because speaking during games makes them emotional. They would prefer to be quiet and calculating and smart and play smart. Being calm, being patient, those are the mental states you should be in while playing the game. If you find yourself yelling, that might be a bad idea, or it might be a good idea, because yelling signals to someone that a desperate situation is occurring. But realize that you should be calm. The calmer you are, the better. The calmer and less nervous and less anxious and less adrenalinized, I don't know, the less adrenaline you have, the better. And I realize that's sort of a paradox, or that's sort of difficult, because if you guys have ever played a competitive game, the atmosphere in a competitive game is anything but relaxing. Everyone's yelling at each other. Everyone's saying, left power-up is coming up. Someone's coming in the base. He's coming in. Get the return. Returns a cap. Everyone's yelling at each other. Everyone's, it's so tense. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, yes, it's tense. Yes, it's against what calmness is, but don't let it get to you. I've realized that the natural state of the game is that it makes you tense. Don't let it make you tense. Fight it every time you play a game, because when you're tense, if you look at yourself after recordings, you're gonna be like, oh, why would I do that? Why would I mess up like that? It's because you were tense. It's because you weren't in a state of mind where you would have made the right decision. So it means nothing for me to tell you what to do if when you enter the game you're in a bad mental state. You're in a tense mental state, because it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have about what good decisions to make. If you're tense, if you're nervous, if you're fearful, you will make bad decisions no matter what you know. So just realize that. It doesn't matter if I tell you it doesn't matter if I tell you play proper OD. You're not going to play proper OD if you're feeling anxious, if you're not in the right moment. If you know what I mean. So those are some general tips. What did I say? Prevent caps is more important than making caps. Play patient, play calm. You can never go wrong with playing conservatively, as you've seen in many examples here. Remember when I was entertaining thoughts? I was coming up with the entertaining thought. If you played super conservatively, it ended up being better than your aggressive actions, if you realized. So playing super conservatively isn't always the best idea, but you can never go wrong with it. You can never go wrong with being conservative. What I'm saying is, if you have to pick both devils, if you have to pick between the devil of playing ultra conservative or playing ultra aggressive, you can never go wrong with playing ultra conservative. Nothing terrible will happen. There are some situations where playing ultra conservative is harmful, and you'll notice that if you play conservative in your Tag Pro career. But usually you can never go wrong with playing conservative if you're unsure. So yeah, if you have a choice, play conservative. If you're unsure, play conservative. You can never go wrong with it. Sure, you won't get a cap out of it, but at least they didn't get a cap out of it. You can never go wrong. Number 4 of general Tag Pro strategy. Winning in Tag Pro, at some point, people start to get very good. Let's say you're in the playoffs. You're playing very good teams. At some point, your team will play players that are so good, that are just as good as you, that at that point, winning the game is more reliant on you not messing up than you doing good things. So what do I mean by that? You winning the game relies on how little you mess up. Why? Because you're both going to make good decisions. The team that you're playing, let's say, is the Nooper Ball. Let's say you're in the Nooper Ball. You're playing a team that's just as good as you. How do you win that game? How do you win a game where the players are just as good, if not better than you? How do you win that game? You win that game by not messing up, playing honest Tag Pro, and hoping to God that they mess up. If they don't mess up, then it's 0-0. If they do mess up, then you get a cap. You get 2 caps. It's 2-0. You win. But you have to realize that the reason why good teams are good is because they play honest Tag Pro until the other team messes up, and then they get a cap. So this game is more about not messing up and letting the other team mess up for you and getting caps out of that. That's what this game is about. That's why I say preventing caps is more important than making caps, because the other team will make cap happens for you. The other team will mess up for you. You just have to be patient and let them. This game isn't like the NFL where I would advocate that making plays is more important than not messing up. Making touchdowns is more important than making interceptions. But in here, it's much, much different. Preventing caps more important than making caps. Because trust me, you will make caps. You will make caps. You don't have to worry about that. You have to worry about preventing caps. That's what you have to worry about. Also, Actually, I'm not going to talk about this, but I have a lot more things to talk about. But because this has gone on for like an hour and 45 minutes, I'm going to stop now. But I have a lot more things to talk about general Tag Pro strategy. But I'll stop it now. This is only the first match. This is literally the first. This is before I even told you guys to do numbers. This is before I even started yelling at you guys about Tag Pro power-ups. So you guys already play better than this recording has shown. And hopefully the next practice I can record a couple games and I'll go through it a lot quicker, hopefully. I'll try to not focus on the straight up bad plays, like I don't know, like Rig Sam messing up on the return. Like those are just straight up bad plays that I can't tell you what to do. You know, those are things you have to decide for yourself. I'll talk more about general Tag Pro strategy, general situations, general decisions, and things like that. But like I said before, it's not about me telling you what to do. It's about talking about strategy, really. Because no one does this. No one does what I'm doing right now. No one talks about Tag Pro strategy like this. So talk about it. Talk about genius ideas that you've come up with that you can let your friends know and create chemistry. This is what chemistry is. Chemistry is being on the same page with each other, being on the same page, having the same strategies. And hopefully you guys listen to me and my general Tag Pro strategy. If you guys listen to my general Tag Pro strategy tips, you will all be on the same page, and that's chemistry. That's the definition of chemistry right there. Yeah, and so I'll stop right now. Hopefully you guys learned a lot, and hopefully you guys, if you've watched this whole thing, you are much better off than someone who just watched like 5 minutes and stopped or whatever. Hopefully you guys, and I mean this is like an hour and 45 minutes, or this has been not going on for 2 hours, so hopefully congratulations to you if you've watched through the whole thing. You know, hopefully you've gotten a lot out of this and thought a lot out of this, you know, and aren't just mad that I've called you out or whatever. Yeah. And hopefully you guys are more passionate about strategy. That's all I really want. Like, I honestly don't even care if you guys don't listen to me, as long as you guys are more passionate about Tag Pro strategy. It's all fine. So I'll stop right now. I'll stop talking. 1 minute and 42 seconds. Hopefully this can help you guys out. Signing off.